This is the Small Business Report, powered by PNC Bank, your weekly access to all the tools you need to succeed. Stay tuned next for expert advice from business owners, subject matter experts, and government agencies. Each week, right here, you'll learn tips on how to start, grow, and finance your business. The Small Business Report is supported by the DC Small Business Development Center, a partnership program nationally accredited by the Association of America's SBDCs and funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Howard University, with Howard University serving as the network's headquarters. Stay tuned. Coming up next, your host, Carl Brown, State Executive Director of the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center. This is the Small Business Report.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Hello, this is Carl Brown, host of the Small Business Report on SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices. Every Thursday at noon, we bring you the stories of small business owners and subject matter experts that can help you start, grow, or sustain your business. Please be sure to tune in every Thursday at noon on SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices to hear the Small Business Report.
Winter could put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. Do you want to deal with getting stuck somewhere because your car broke down? I don't, but I did. Standing in the snow is no fun waiting for a tow. That's why I have CarShield. Taking care of a covered repair with CarShield's administrators is easy. They handle all the paperwork and payments. Seriously, CarShield could help save you thousands. And you get to choose the mechanic to do the work. CarShield does the rest. Plans through CarShield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance and rental coverage, all at no additional charge. That's why they're America's #1 auto protection company. CarShield is the best defense against costly repairs that could put a deep freeze on your plans and finances. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply. Welcome to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. Hey, this is your boy Carl Brown, and hey, it's a great day, and I'm loving it. And I just want to tell you who's coming on the show today. We have Dr. Keisha Mack. She is the co-founder and chief operating officer of the MECCA Group, LLC, a Black woman-owned psychological and rehabilitative health services company which focuses on providing high-quality mental and rehabilitative health services to the underserved and communities of color in the District of Columbia. And on the second half of the show, we have our buddy, our finance guy, Rod Johnson, coming back. And he's going to talk about his new role at the SBA as a financial analyst for small business investment companies. Small business investment companies. So we're going to find out what that's all about. So check this out. The word of the week is dedication. Committed to a task or a purpose, that's what dedication is. Trustworthiness, dependability, and dedication, the antonym for dedication is disloyal, treachery, falseness, and unfaithfulness. So when we're building our businesses, when we're working in our businesses, we have dedication, or you should have dedication. And so I want to tell you that you have to be dedicated to building your business if you want to see success. If not, it's going to be built on quicksand and you'll be gone quick, fast, and in a hurry. So Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
When you need to reach, teach, or engage your target market to enhance your desired results, this is where entertainment meets education. The Holloway Media Group will help you create, distribute, and edit your multimedia productions. Let our experts provide talent development advice and assistance using media to improve productivity of your workforce. We'll develop a customized program to meet your unique needs. We have your media solutions. Visit hollowaymedia.com for more information.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, are you a small or mid-sized business? Let BDPAtoday.com help you leverage emerging technologies and digital innovations to transform your business.
BDPAtoday.com will highlight your organization's innovations, solutions, and success stories. Let BDPAtoday.com publish your branded videos, blogs, and photos to a national tech industry audience and assist with your awareness building campaign. With BDPAtoday.com, you can network with qualified and certified tech professionals and get access to developers, gamers, hackers, and interns to join your team for short or long-term projects.
Visit BDPAtoday.com for true digital transformation that will drive competitive advantage to your organization.
That's BDPAtoday.com.
Tune in to the Skin Deep Show with host Sharon Morton as she engages your senses and examines the issues affecting Black skin and its treatment in every facet of life, from beauty, health, and wellness to social injustice and mass incarceration. It's a show designed to stimulate your mind, body, and soul. Don't miss it. The Skin Deep Show, every Friday at 5:30 p.m. and Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on SiriusXM Channel 141 HUR Voices.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. And like I told you folks at the top, we were going to have Dr. Keisha Mack come in, and she is the co-founder and chief operating officer of the MECCA Group LLC and a Howard University graduate. So welcome, Dr. Mack. Welcome to the Small Business Report.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and absolutely a proud Howard University alumni. Absolutely.
And we are so happy to have you on because what we're going to talk about is very important. And we have all been dealing with this COVID situation for over 2 years now. And it's gotten a little better right now, but we're looking at tracking numbers that are getting, that are going up all over the globe. So we don't know what's in store for the future. But what we want to do is talk about how to cope and how to deal with the stress. So what are some ways to advise small business owners to deal with the stress if they don't have the budget for a therapist?
Yeah, that's a good question because as you said, COVID is here, not going anywhere, and we just definitely want people to have the resources or the abilities to kind of support themselves through this difficult time, whether they have the budget or not. So, you could start by just doing things that you enjoy doing on a daily basis, incorporating some of those things that bring you joy. Little things, if it's exercise, if it's shopping, if it's, watching a movie or talking to your friends and family, just doing something that you enjoy doing on a daily basis. Exercising actually is a really good way to help you with dealing with stress and coping because it creates endorphins. And endorphins interact with receptors in your brain, and it really reduces pain, and it gives you this euphoric feeling. So when you hear people talk about the runner's high, that's real. So exercising is definitely another way to deal with stress when you don't have a budget for a therapist. There are also lots of self-help books and things you can find to read on your own online. One example would be The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health by Rita Walker. Some people enjoy writers like Jan Van Zandt. So there are a lot of self-help books out there that you could use, journals, books of affirmations, things of that nature that can be helpful. Faith, prayer, church, if that is something that is important to you, or if that's something that helps you through difficult times, definitely lean in on your faith. And then there's also you could also seek out low-cost therapists. Many therapists have what we call a sliding scale, which really focuses on, what you can afford to pay. And so they make room for clients in their practices who have little or who may not even be able to pay anything. So definitely ask therapists, do they have sliding scale? And finally, I would say check your insurance, because you may have your insurance you may only have to pay your copay, which could be $20, $30, which could help you with receiving those services as well.
Now, those are good tips. Those are really good tips, because I would tell anyone, especially during this time, that if you need to talk to somebody, go find somebody to talk to. Absolutely. Because we are dealing with a lot of stress. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stress. I was going to say, the liquor stores are doing mega sales. They are doing booming business in the liquor store. I mean, absolutely. They had a Maybach Mercedes parked in front of the liquor store I drove by recently. It was the owners. It wasn't the customer. It was the owners.
That tells you a lot, right? During COVID, they did not close. They were one of the few businesses that did not close during COVID. They were open.
Wasn't there something? Mm-hmm. And then you talked about working out, and all the gyms were closed.
Yep.
But the liquor store was open. Yeah. So that was just crazy to me. But hey. So what are ways business owners can encourage themselves when the business isn't doing too well? Because we saw that, and we're still really dealing with it, because like we work with a lot of restaurants at the DC Small Business Development Center, and customers are still not coming back the way they were pre-pandemic. So how can they deal with that?
I think it's difficult, right? My partner and I, we experienced the same kind of difficulties as everyone else did during this pandemic. But one of the things that I think is important for business owners to do when they are really having, a difficult time, business isn't doing so well, is to go back to their why. Why did they start the business? What was the purpose behind them getting involved in doing this business? What was the driving force? What motivated them to get up every day and push to do this? What are the reasons for you to continue? If you go back to the why, I think that, will help them to get through the difficult times, because a lot of times the why is something bigger than just making money, because I like it. The why is usually something bigger. There's a purpose. There's something that was connecting you to it. Is it to be something of, to leave a legacy for your family? Is it because you wanted to do something great in the community? Did you want to leave the world a better place when you leave? Going back to that why, helps to push forward. I know that it does for me, because my why was because I wanted to do something different to support my community. And I still do. And so when times are difficult, I have to remember that. And it helps me to push forward.
Oh, that's a wonderful tip. So let's go. And what is a great way to reset a small business owner's mind to shift their focus on the positives and not the negatives?
Yeah. And especially during this time, right?
Exactly.
You get caught up in the fact, especially if you're watching the news and, seeing everything that's happening in the world. I think you have to be really intentional about what you allow into your space, into your mind. You know what I mean? What are you taking in? What are you feeding yourself? Because that is what is going to play over and over and over. I am very intentional. I limit the amount of news I watch. I can't do it because those negative things play and it stresses me out. So I'm just like, I can't do it. So I'm intentional about what I feed my mind, right? And secondly, we use a strategy in therapy, self-talk. So what you're doing is playing these messages over in your head, right? So you have to get in there and challenge these messages, challenge the things that you're saying to yourself. Are they real? Are they based in fact? Are they based in reality? Or is it based in fear? Is it based in something that you can't, that you can prove to not be true? Ask yourself, what is the evidence of what you're saying to yourself? Like, what is the evidence that this is actually real? What is the evidence that this is actually going to happen? Because a lot of times what we're doing is trying to control a situation that we don't have control over. And then that ruminates in our mind and gets, continue that negative loop. So we have to really kind of ask ourselves what we are saying. And if what we are saying is really based in reality and real. And a lot of times it isn't. It's based in a lot of fear.
Yeah. And, during this time, if you're a small business owner and you got all these customers coming into your shop and all you hear about all these numbers of people not only getting the COVID, but dying from the COVID, that I believe that would give you fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a certain level of fear that you need to have as a business owner. As a person in general, you do need to have a certain level of fear, but there's realistic fears and then there's unrealistic fears. So when you have realistic fears, that leads you to do things to protect yourself and keep yourself safe. It's the unrealistic fears that are the things that we are talking about here. What are those things that are not really real and, not really happening in the moment? What can you do to stop those kinds of thoughts? Right. But the ones that are real and realistic, absolutely. You want to pay attention to them, but you don't want to bombard yourself with it. That's what I'm talking, as we're talking about, the listening to the numbers, hearing the numbers, you want to be aware, but you don't want to bombard yourself with that, because then that becomes what you are focused on throughout your day.
Right. And I think being aware and being able to protect yourself. So we got about a minute and a half. Why don't you give the audience your contact info so they can reach out to you and get services?
Absolutely. So we are the MECCA Group, and we are at 202. We're located in Washington, D.C. So our number is 202-903, 202-529-3117. Again, that's 202.
You trying to give them your cell phone.
I know. I had to change that real quick.
I told you about that.
202-529-3117. And our website is www.themeccagroup.llc.com. And you can find us on social media as well at the MECCA Group.
Okay, so we'll talk about this on the next segment, but the MECCA Group, where'd that come from?
I'll tell you when we come back.
Okay. Hey, folks, you're listening to the Small Business Report here with your boy, Carl Brown, and I got Dr. Keisha Mack on, and we'll be right back after these messages.
It's Madison, the Black Eagle.
This is Karen Hunter.
This is Clay King.
Al Sharpton.
Hey, it's Lauren Coates.
Hey, this is Godfrey. Sirius XM.
Urban View.
1, 2, 6.
Urban View is where Americans get to see what America is supposed to look like.
We are free to express our opinion as long as they're honest.
From sunup till sundown.
All are welcome, but be careful if you come in, because your life might be changed.
I'm super excited to be able to engage folks.
And that's what's happening right now. Urban View. Keep it real.
Channel 126.
Hello, this is Carl Brown, host of the Small Business Report on Sirius XM, channel 141, HUR Voices. Every Thursday at noon, we bring you the stories of small business owners and subject matter experts that can help you start, grow, or sustain your business. Please be sure to tune in every Thursday at noon on Sirius XM, channel 141, HUR Voices to hear the Small Business Report.
It's the end of a long school day, attending classes, library time, and meeting deadlines for term papers. But between work, school, and balancing a social life, it can be hard to find time to cook quality and nourishing meals at home. Meet Din Din. The Din Din mobile app and website make it easy to browse and order a variety of delicious heat and serve meals created by local chefs. Your curated premium meals are then delivered weekly, right to your door. It's time for Din Din. Download the Din Din mobile app today or visit eatdindin.com.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. PNC Bank, folks, those are my guys. Go see Jermaine Johnson over at PNC Bank. He's the man, that whole team over there. If you're a small business owner, talk to them. They can help you out. And they can help you get on the right track so that you can get a loan, a bank card, a credit card. You know, you would have a good banking experience over there at PNC Bank. But so, Dr. Keisha Mack, we were talking about the MECCA. And where did that come from? I wonder.
So honestly, I wish I could say it was all about Howard, but it wasn't totally. It wasn't totally. So our name derived from, there were three of us when we started our business. We were three psychologists working together. We came together. Two of us did go to Howard. And as we were talking about naming the company, it just came, I was stuck on this whole idea of an acronym. We should have an acronym. We want something that has meaning, acronym. And so we came up with MECCA, which stands for Mental Health, Education, Careers, Consulting, and Assessment. However, the both of us are proud Howard alum, and my partner, Dr. Mercedes Ebanks, is even a professor at Howard. So we are not mad at all that MECCA has that dual name, that dual purpose.
Hey, there you go. That's powerful. That's a powerful name. So I appreciate it. As a Howard graduate, I definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So what strategies can business executives and staff take during the workday to help them refresh and to deal with this whole COVID crazy environment that we're in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's really hard in some ways, but you have to be really intentional about taking a break, right? Especially when you're working at home. It's so easy to sit at a desk and you start at 7 and you look up, it's 7. And all you did was get up and get some water and go to the bathroom, So you really have to be really intentional about, I need to stop and take a lunch break, and literally take a break, like not eating at your desk, getting up, going to sit in the kitchen. Even though you might be in your home, go sit in the kitchen, go sit at the table and eat your lunch. If you're at your office, if you're in your office space, if you're back to work, walk out of your office and go eat in your kitchenette or wherever you all have to eat. Go to the CVS, do something, and, sometimes you have to set alarms every 20 minutes to just get up and go walk, go walk to the bathroom, go walk to the water cooler, go to the office next door to see who's there. But it really is, you really do have to make it something that you plan out and prioritize to do, because it's really easy to not do it.
I like that. I like that idea, because you're right. When I was, totally working from home, I would start at 7 because I didn't have to commute.
Yeah.
So, it was like get up, take a shower, maybe hit the gym for a little bit, and then start working out and start working rather. And 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Next thing I know, it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but again, if you do what you love, it's not really a hard task. But if you're doing something you really ain't, not enjoying and don't love, it might be a hard way to go and a bad way to live.
But even if it is something you love, you still have to step away and take a brain break and take some time away from what you're doing in the middle of the day to recoup, give your brain a break, let it recharge and come back so you're refreshed and you can do it for however long you need to do it. I do thumbs, and I'm speaking to myself. Let me just be clear to the audience. I am talking to myself as I'm having this conversation with you, because these are things that I do and I have to really be intentional about and practice in my day-to-day life. I have to remind myself, get up and go take a walk, get up and go out for lunch, because it is so easy to just sit there and not, and it's not good for your health. It's not good for our bodies either. We're experiencing a lot more back issues, hip issues, because we are sitting so long. So we have to make sure that we're doing these things for our health and our mental health.
Yeah, I had to start stretching more.
Yep.
Because my back and my hips. And I was like, what's going on here? I said, I know getting old is part of it, but this whole sitting for hours on end is really, really bad. So
yep, absolutely. It is.
How do you deal with feeling isolated? Because again, you're working from home. And, when it comes to business decisions or, just working from home, how do you deal with that isolation?
Yeah. So, and isolation can come in many forms. I mean, you could, you're working from home, but you could also be in a situation where, you're the main person you're running your business yourself. So you don't have people that you can talk to in that way. So I think a couple of different ways that you can deal with the isolation. One, seeking out support systems, different organizations that maybe you could join or affiliated with that are doing similar things that you are interested in doing, around your business or, whatever that may be of interest to you. So I definitely think seeking out different organizations and groups to join can be helpful. Finding a coach, getting an executive coach, that could be something that can be beneficial and helpful to help you when you're isolated, and, around how to help you to make these business decisions. And you don't really have other people to talk to. You can't talk to your employees about it. You can't talk to your spouse or your mate about it. A business coach or an executive coach could be someone really helpful. A mentor, seeking out a mentor, other professionals in the field that you can bounce things off of and help you to make decisions and help you to just have someone to share your day-to-day experiences with. I think a mentor is another great option. And then a therapist, what we're here to talk about as far as mental health. Seek out a therapist, seek out someone that you can talk to, who is there to be objective, someone who's there who does not have any there's no bias, none of those things to consider. So a therapist is also another good option. And finally, I would say do things like journaling, just to get the thoughts out and the feelings out. Doing things like journaling could help with some of that isolation, because a lot of times it's because you're just kind of holding it in. You have no way to get it out. You want to just get things off your chest. You want to get things out of your mind, out of your heart. So being able to write that down can sometimes help with that as well.
So let me ask you, we got a little over 2 minutes. How do you, if you see one of your employees, their mental health is maybe deteriorating, and they might show signs of depression or low motivation, how do you deal with that?
So one of the things that I would say to small business owners is, first of all, create an environment where there is, a safe environment and space where they maybe feel comfortable and confident coming to you to say, hey, I'm having a difficult time. So you definitely want to create that environment. Two, you want to create an environment where there are benefits that allows them to take care of their mental health. So providing benefits such as paid time off and health insurance so that they can treat themselves, they can seek out mental health support. Because if they're well, they're going to be able to work better for you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's an investment. Yes, it costs, but that's a good investment because then they can be there for you 100% because they're able to get the treatment that they need. Now, second, and so then if you're recognizing that they are having these issues, then I would say recommend that they seek outside support. You can't provide that for them. You can, be a sounding board to maybe understand what's going on so that you can direct them and make the recommendation to seek outside support and services. If you notice them feeling depressed, you see the low motivation, they're coming to work late, that's not like them. They're not getting work done, they can't concentrate, they're not able to focus. Those are the things that, you would be looking for, and then you could help them to reach and seek support.
Well, Dr. Mack, unfortunately, we run out of time, so give them your info again so they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Again, my name is Dr. Keisha Mack. I am a partner in the MECCA Group located here in Washington, D.C. You can find us at themeccagroup.llc.com, 202-529-3117. And you can also find us on social media at the MECCA Group. We're on IG, LinkedIn, Facebook. Reach out to us.
There you go. Dr. Mack, thank you so much for being on the show. And we're going to have you come again because I don't know when this COVID is going to go away.
I would absolutely enjoy coming back anytime. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All righty. Hey, folks, we'll be right back after these messages. Winter could put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. Do you want to deal with getting stuck somewhere because your car broke down? I don't, but I did. Standing in the snow is no fun waiting for a tow. That's why I have Car Shield. Taking care of a covered repair with Car Shield's administrators is easy. They handle all the paperwork and payments. Seriously, Car Shield could help save you thousands. And you get to choose the mechanic to do the work. Car Shield does the rest. Plans through Car Shield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance and rental coverage, all at no additional charge. That's why they're America's #1 auto protection company. Car Shield is the best defense against costly repairs that could put a deep freeze on your plans and finances. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply.
Every 14 seconds, someone, somewhere, learns they have breast cancer, the most commonly diagnosed cancer worldwide. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation unites the best minds in science. A global team collaborating across disciplines and pursuing their boldest ideas. The scientists we support have been involved in every major breakthrough in breast cancer research. Our progress can be measured in millions of survivors. By investing in every aspect of breast cancer research, we're deepening our understanding of how cancer begins and why it sometimes spreads. Only with your help can we maintain our progress. Only by saving research now can we save lives tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And I told you at the top of the hour that we were bringing back Rod Johnson, our guy from the SBA, our buddy, the money man. He is going to talk about money. What do all small businesses need? Money. And so we're going to have Rod talk about it. He's in a new role over there at the SBA. And we thank God that he's still there because he is the man. And he is so helpful to all the small businesses that come his way. So, Rod, welcome back to the show, my friend. How you doing?
All right. Thank you, Carl, for having me back on the show. It's always good to be back on the show. to talk about what? Money.
Money, 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 money. So, Rod, what is the small business investment companies? What do SBICs do?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say this. I started in that new role as a financial analyst, and the SBIC stands for Small Business Investment Company. And so people are like, well, what is that? Okay. Because I get that now all the time that I've moved to that area of the SBA. And let me say that we are actually under the Office of Innovation and Investments. Okay.
Okay.
And this program is considered to be innovative. And what we do is manage a group of funds that make investments into small businesses across the country. So what is an SBIC? All right, so it's a privately owned and managed investment fund, okay? And what they do is they go out and raise money from private investors. And let's use the example of 50 million. So they'll go out and raise 50 million. The SBA, through its guarantee and debentures, right, will give them $2 for every dollar that they raise. So now they're at 100 million, okay? And what happens is these SBICs make debt and equity investments in these companies, all right? So here's the three ways that it happens. So the one way is paid in capital. So let's just say one of the funds made like an innovative IT company. So instead of making a loan, they'll put in paid in capital of about $5 million, okay? To help this company grow and whatever that is that it needs to grow. All right, the second way is it may do what they call debt. And debt is actually mezzanine financing, all right, which is a combination of debt and warrants, okay? So they'll make that $5 million investment and they see that that company is really taking off and doing well. So down the road, they will convert those warrants, they convert the warrants into common stock, okay?
Okay.
And then the third way is they may just go ahead and do a straight out line of credit or term loan, okay? So those are the three ways that a small business investment company actually invests in companies or industries that they like across the United States.
So say I got an IT company, all right? How do I get into this program?
All right, so you don't come to the SBA. What you have to do is actually find an SBIC. And actually the easiest way to do that is to Google SBICs in Washington, D.C., okay? Now, I will tell you there are only 300 small business investment companies in the program across the United States, all right? Now, the program has been around. Actually, the program will be 70 years old next year.
Wow.
But a lot of, 70 years old. But, you have to be in that space, right? That mezzanine private equity space to even hear about this. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we got you on the radio, brother.
So this is not just the everyday, I'm going to go into Bank of America and they're going to give me a $5 million loan at today's rates at 5%. Okay.
Right.
And no, it's not that at all. You actually have to seek out these funds. And I think we have, if I recall, we may have 4 right here in Washington, D.C. Now, these funds are always looking for deals. Okay. They're always looking for deals. Now, they have to be licensed because they're licensed and regulated by the SBA. Okay. My role is to make sure that they are actually following the rules and regulations of the program.
Okay.
Now, a part of what I do is actually review how the fund is actually operating. So have they made good investments? And now how is that portfolio actually performing? I also look at the individual companies. to see how the individual companies are performing, okay? And so it's important because of the private equity investors obviously are looking for a return on their money.
Right.
So here's what happens. So the Rod Johnson SBIC, I raised $50 million. The SBA gives me $2 for every dollar I raise. Okay. Now, I borrow from the SBA at 2%. I lend the money to the company at 18%. Okay.
18%?
18%. I lend the money to that company at 18% because my capital is patient, right? I'm not looking for you to like just instantly turn things around.
Right,
so
right. You're looking long term.
Yeah. It may take you 3 to 5 years to actually, hit your stride. Okay. So since my capital is patient, then we're going to lend it to you at 18% or invest in you at 18%.
Right, right.
Okay. And so here's how you have to look at our capital. So you have traditional bank capital, which prime just went up to 3.50 from 3.25, right? Because Mr. Powell, the Fed chairman, and the Federal Reserve just raised, prime 0.25%. Okay.
Right.
So if you're a good borrower, you're borrowing at prime plus 1. All right. So that's 4.5%. All right. So that's what we call traditional money. Then you have this money, mezzanine debt financing. Okay. That's at 18%. Then you have what I call the far left money. Okay. And that's on deck, cabbage, and the like. And they're lending to you at 36%.
Wow.
Right? Yes.
So, they're basically a partner.
So yes. So they're lending to you at 36%. All right. And they're extracting their repayment every week.
Okay.
Directly out of your checking account when you're dealing with cabbage and the other on deck. All right. So our money, or I should say our debt, is actually right in between.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, your debt looks good.
Yeah, exactly. And see, the other thing is, obviously, there's not as much collateral that's required like there is in traditional financing. Okay. And the other part is, it's not like vulture capitalists where they want a big piece of your company. Okay. That's the other thing. So this fits neatly into those companies that would appear to be, have high potential, and they just need that $5-10, million to really get them going. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what some people need. And looking at, like you pointed out, this is long term.
Yeah.
So I know you're not going to make a profit next year. It might be 2-3 years down the road. So 18%, is now palatable because I don't have to worry about, paying you back right now. I mean, I'm paying you, but I know, that it's going to take a while before the money's actually rolling in.
Yes. So think of the J curve. And so the fund is coming in at the bottom, right? And then it's going to, should go up like a hockey stick. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how we're looking at it. So this is another avenue that companies should be looking at. Now, what I will say is this: a lot of times these funds are looking for EBITDA, right? Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, right? And amortization of about 2 million up to about 25 million, right? Is what are the type of companies they're looking to invest in. All right. So, and each fund, some fund are what I call generalist, where it doesn't matter what the industry is, as long as they think that the company has good potential, they invest. And then some funds are very industry specific. Some will do like franchises, healthcare IT, regular information technology, okay? Restaurants. So some funds are very specific and then others are very general. Some funds will only lend in a specific region. So some funds like the Northeast, some funds like the Southwest, some are like right there in Middle America, okay? That's what they know. They understand those kind of companies in Middle America, and they're not going Southwest or Northeast. They're staying right there in the middle. So
look, we got to go to break real quick.
Okay.
And we'll finish this on the other side. So,
All
folks,
right.
stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Get your classic soul and Motown in Soul Town. For the Detroit sound of Aretha. To the Memphis soul of Al. Let's be together. Or the funk of James. Wow, I feel good. And the hallway harmony of the Supremes. Make sure you stop in Soul Town, Channel 49.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Winter could put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. Do you want to deal with getting stuck somewhere because your car broke down? I don't, but I did. Standing in the snow is no fun waiting for a tow. That's why I have Car Shield. Taking care of a covered repair with Car Shield's administrators is easy. They handle all the paperwork and payments. Seriously, Car Shield could help save you thousands. And you get to choose the mechanic to do the work. Car Shield does the rest. Plans through Car Shield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance and rental coverage, all at no additional charge. That's why they're America's #1 auto protection company. Car Shield is the best defense against costly repairs that could put a deep freeze on your plans and finances. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply. Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And Rod, we were just talking about the territories that the small business investment companies actually look at and who they're looking at. So if we could finish that and then pivot into the latest and greatest on the PPP, the EIDL, and any other updates on money you can talk about.
Okay, good. And so to wrap up the last piece, so again, they will invest in specific territories that they like and that they understand. So each fund has a niche by territory and by industry. So now let's talk about COVID-19 and all the programs that ad nauseum that we have heard about, right? So
yes,
remember the EIDL. And actually that was the very first program. People forget that the EIDL program was actually the first COVID-19 program.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And then it was the PPP. Then it was the Rescue Restaurant Fund. Then it was the Shuttered Venue Opportunity Grant, right?
Yes.
All right, so now let's bring people up to date. So with EIDL, of course, closed down on December 31st, 2021, all right? However, just because it's closed down doesn't mean that applications still aren't being processed, okay?
Right.
And actually, the SBA is processing about $1 billion a day in EIDL money.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully by now, people have heard that there is now a 30-month deferment period, all right? So if you remember when the program started, it was 12 months. Then they extended it to 24 months. And now I think as of a little over a week ago, it's been extended to 30 months. And it's 30 months from the date that your loan was dispersed, okay?
Okay.
So that's what's going, that's the latest and greatest with EIDL. So just because it's closed down does not mean that if you apply, let's just say on December 30th, that you won't get processed, because we
no.
Process.
One of our clients got their notification last week, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right.
Yep.
So now PPP is all done. Okay.
Yes.
So now people should be in the forgiveness phase. All right. They should have now, really by now, a lot of companies should have already applied for forgiveness. Okay.
Yes.
But the forgiveness process is still going on. So you can either go through the SBA portal, or of course you can use the portal at your, at the bank that you got your PPP, loan/grant from. But all the funds from PPP are now done. All right. So now you have the Restaurant Rescue Fund. That was $28.6 billion. Okay.
Yes.
And that money was gone within a week.
Yeah. America loves to eat out. Okay. Yes. So there were restaurants everywhere. We're working with a whole lot of them in Washington, D.C. A whole lot of them.
Okay. Well, over the past few months, there have been, grumblings about trying to fund RRF again. However, no, at this point in time, I don't think that the majority of our congressmen actually have an appetite to do that, to fund it more. All right. And then we have the shuttered venue opportunity grant. All right. So that's done. No more money for that. Okay. So actually, at this point in time, what I see companies doing, you have gotten money from the federal government. You've gotten money from your state government. You've gotten money from your local municipalities. Okay. So when you cobble together all those funds were put together for you to survive.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
That's what those funds were for. They were for you to cobble it together and survive. So now, and I shouldn't speak too soon because I hear there's another Omicron variant, BA.2.
Yeah.
That's over there in Europe that may make its way over here. However, we're going to be optimistic and say that the pandemic is probably winding down now. So now is the time that, since you survived, it's now time to thrive. Okay. And so that's what I hope that all of you are doing now that you've put all those funds together to survive. Now you're thriving, and now you can go back to banks and submit financials. And, if you need a term loan or line of credit, that you're able to do so to now thrive.
Well, it's funny you say that because we were having a discussion earlier about, we all know about the Great Resignation. Now we're hearing about this great layoff that's about to come. And so one person said to me, I think that's really going to hit the restaurant industry heavy, because now you have upped the minimum wage, and that is really not sustainable for a lot of these small businesses. So we will see.
That was very controversial to raise the minimum wage to $15. But here is the strange thing about that. They call the $15 an hour minimum wage a living wage.
Right.
Okay. But when you extrapolate out $15 an hour, it really is not a living wage.
No, not in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
New York, Chicago, Florida. I mean, $15 an hour is not a living wage in a lot of municipalities, a lot of major cities in this country. No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, we actually were talking about a McDonald's was offering $31 an hour. Now, that's really not sustainable. $31 an hour.
An hour? Really?
A McDonald's had it on a sign. We offering $31 an hour. I was like, wow. maybe I need to work there. You want fries with that? I mean, hey, man, $31 an hour. I was like, whoa, that's a good chunk of change right there. But, it's the sign of the times. And, we got to find a happy medium. And I do believe that, people work hard. They really need a living wage.
Yes.
But, we'll see what happens. I really don't know. Because like I was telling in the same discussion, I talked about the dollar store. The dollar store is now really $1.25. They're not charging $1 for everything. It's $1.25 or better. So that's where we are. And then, people are blaming it on the, the supply chain, the shipping, and we don't have CDL drivers to get the truckers to get it from the port to the to your place of business. So, a lot of things are going on, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of months.
And so what was the genesis of all of these things happening? The pandemic was poorly handled.
Yeah.
Okay? That was really the genesis of it all. Okay. Because if the pandemic had been handled properly, then we wouldn't be going through what we are right now with the supply chain issues and with the rate of inflation that that we're seeing today.
Right.
All because of that. All right. Now, but see what this should do, it should wake us up as a country and say, you know what? We need to bring manufacturing on back home.
Hello. Yes. Because I was recently being interviewed, and they said, well, what are some of the recommendations that you would make? And, what are some of the industries that you see are hot? And I said, bring manufacturing back to America. We would not have to wait for a ship to get it halfway around or the world to get the products here. We would make them right here.
Yes. And look, we have good places. Texas, Florida, Mississippi, South Carolina, right? Where the wages are low, land is cheap, okay?
Yeah.
And good places to put factories.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Well, even like Minnesota and places like that. I mean, North Dakota and all that. I mean, we have a lot of open land in America, rural, that there's nothing there, and so there's a lot of opportunity. But hey, Rob, we got less than a minute, and it's really good to talk to you. So can you just give people the generic SBA info? All right. Well, most of your interactions are going to be with the SBA district office, okay? And that number is 202-256-8000. And if you dial that number, that actually opens the floodgates to any and everywhere that you want to go within the SBA, whether that's the government contracting group, or you want to know more about the 7A and 504 program, or you want to know more about the small business investment companies. That's the number that you dial, and you'll get to the right place within the SBA for what you need.
All right. Well, hey, Rod, it's great talking to you, my friend. We'll have you on again. Folks, this has been the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. We'll be back next week with vital information that will help you grow your business. Take care now.
You've been listening to the Small Business Report, powered by PNC Bank, your weekly access to all the tools you need to succeed, with your host, Carl Brown, State Executive Director of the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center. Stay tuned to HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141, every Tuesday and Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, for expert advice from business owners, subject matter experts, and government agencies. Each week, you'll learn tips on how to start, grow, and finance your business. The Small Business Report is supported by the DC Small Business Development Center, a partnership program nationally accredited by the Association of America's SBDCs, and funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Howard University, with Howard University serving as the network's headquarters. The Small Business Report on HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141.